This is David with Master Marine, and I'm going to show you how to change your outboard oil for your engine. First of all, we're going to drain the lower unit oil. And these are magnetic plugs, so any fine metal shavings or anything, they will stick to the plug. As long as they're not large shavings, they're just fine. You're always going to have small metal shavings stuck to the plug. And when you replace these gaskets and you retighten these, you use a screwdriver and a wrench. You don't want to over torque them, you just want to make them good and snug. And most drain plugs on Yamaha outboards, except for the smaller ones, are 14 millimeter. And you use a 2-inch extension, the 14 millimeter socket. You can go to Napa Auto Parts and get one of these. This is a photo funnel. And this will, once you tape that up, you can drain the oil with that. That way you don't make a mess. And then the tape keeps the mess. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to let it drain as much as possible to get any of the oil out. You're going to want to replace the gasket every time that you change the oil. The metal gasket has to be replaced, otherwise you could have problems. And they're made of aluminum, so they'll crush. So always replace it. And always replace the filter every time. And don't over tighten them because you'll strip the threads out. So you just want to tighten it so it's snug. So there is pressure on it. You got to use a new gasket for the drain plugs every time too. So new drain plug gaskets, and we replace those. You're not going to have the fancy oil pumper like we do, but you're going to have a bottle, most likely, with a hand pump and a little screw-in fitting that'll screw into the lower unit, and you'll have to hand pump it up till it comes out the top and there's no air bubbles in it anymore and it's completely filled up, and then you can put your plug in. It takes sometimes like 3 or 4 minutes for it to fill up because that oil's so cold. 90-year oil does not fill very fast whenever it's cold. There we go. What you're going to want to do is you let it run out a little bit and then you let it set, because you got to wait for the air bubbles in the inside of the drive to work their way to the top. So that may take 2 minutes or it may take 5 minutes, and then you pump it some more and fill it up some more until the oil comes out where there's no air bubbles in it. So it's kind of a time-consuming job. You're going to waste some. There's no way to get around that. And snug your screw. You can get a filter wrench at your local dealer or some of the auto parts place. They're pretty common. Or you can get a open oil filter wrench for some models. Depending on what model it is, some of them are self-draining oil filters and some of them make a mess. So it's always best to have plenty of rags. This one's self-draining. Whenever you change the filter, you always put a little oil on the ring and wipe off any old oil that is on the seating area to make sure it's cleaned, so you have no contaminants when you put the filter back. And usually what I do is when I put the filter back is when I tighten it down afterwards, I put the date on it with a magic marker or paint pencil so that you know the date that it was changed. Just snug the filter. It doesn't have to be super tight. You over torque it, it makes it just really hard to get it back off again. And with the oil caps, you're going to want to make sure that when you take them off, that you don't cross thread them, and when you put them on, you don't cross thread them. The other thing is you got to make sure they're good and tight because they will vibrate off once in a while. On top of the cowling cover, there is a label that tells you how much oil goes in the motor. For each motor, they're different, so you need to read the top of that label. It tells you in liters and it tells you in quarts. So with a filter, this one is 3.4 quarts of oil. All right, so we're going to put 3.5 quarts of oil in it. Put your cap back in, snug it good, and then what you're going to want to do is either hook up your garden hose or put it in a tank, run it up to operating temperature, and then shut it down, and then recheck your oil and make sure that you're at the top of your oil mark, and you're done.